What if I told you that the thing keeping you from supernatural success isn't the enemy? What if the real problem is that you haven't learned to step into the authority that you have and have been given? Because the truth is, most believers are living far below their kingdom potential. They're begging for what they've been authorized to do. They're asking for things that they've been authorized to command. And it's time to stop waiting, stop striving, and it's time to start governing. Talk about the 3 levels of kingdom authority that most believers are not tapping into and how it's keeping them from impact, influence, and the supernatural results that they desire. You see, the religious systems teach us to wait for permission, but Jesus, Yeshua of Nazareth, the King of Glory, has handed us the keys of the kingdom. And what if most believers, they don't need another breakthrough, they don't need more strategies, they need a revelation of what is already theirs so that they can use it. But see, if we would truly know what heaven has already given us the authority to do inside of our businesses, our ministries, our families, and our lives, things would look different. Matthew 16:19 says, I give you the keys of the kingdom. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Luke 10:19, I've given you the authority to trample on snakes, on scorpions. Nothing by any means shall hurt you or harm you. So why are so many believers living like we have no power, like they have no power? Let's break it down. 3 levels of authority that most believers never tap into. Most people think that spiritual warfare is just some external battle that's out there, okay? They rebuke demons, but still somehow battle with anxiety. They're casting out all of these spirits, but they can't cast down their own limiting beliefs. You see, there's a wrong way to think about this, that you could come and, oh God, please change my situation. Oh God, I need you. Or we could realize that the Father has given us the power to shift our atmosphere, to command our circumstances, and to remove these things from our lives once and for all, right? The kingdom authority that starts within us to govern ourselves so that we can govern all things, okay? Proverbs 18:21 tells us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 tells us that the Father's not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind, okay? So stop, please guys, stop waiting for external changes. Learn to speak and decree and command according to God's word, okay? Now, the second thing that I would say is an area that believers are not tapping into the authority is that most kingdom entrepreneurs and ministers are still operating under the world's systems. They're literally waiting for the world to give them an opportunity. They're waiting for the world to give them permission. When Jesus didn't tell us to do any of those things, he told us to take dominion. Okay, there's a wrong way, again, to think about this, that, I hope my business will one day grow. I hope my ministry picks up. I'll just wait and I'll see what happens. And if it's God's will, it's God's timing and all of these different things. When the reality is, the right way of thinking should be that we are kingdom ambassadors, that we are moving with heaven's authorizations. We have the entire host of heaven backing us because we are the children of the Most High God, that our businesses, our ministries, they're not just side hustles. They're not just hobbies, okay? They're literal extensions of the Father's government on earth, okay? Deuteronomy 8:18 says it is the Father who gives us power to create wealth so that he can confirm the covenant that he's made with our forefathers. Isaiah 60 verse 3 says, nations shall come to your light and kings to the brightness of your rising. This is the light that is inside of us. It should draw people to us. Yes, multitudes will hate us for the sake of the gospel, but that does not mean that multitudes also will not support us, okay? We have to stop seeking permission to succeed. We have to stop looking for the world's authorizations and permission to do what God has already called us to do. We must move with boldness and build as one who is sent and not a slave or a servant of the world, okay? The third thing I'd say, the third area that, man, this sun is getting bright in my eyes, man. It wasn't here a minute ago. All right, the third area is the authority over territories and nations. Okay. Jesus did not just tell us to sit back and hope or wait for his kingdom to come. He said in Luke 11:2, when you pray, say, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He commanded us to pray for it. He commanded us to pray it in. He commanded us to enforce it. He commanded us to establish its dominion. He commanded us, okay? There's this wrong mentality that says, well, God, please do this thing, and God, please move in my city, and God, please touch my nation, and God, please touch this. And I mean, yeah, we're right to ask God to get involved. But the truth is, the Father has already decreed his will and his word, and you and I should be here to enforce it. Okay? Jesus didn't tell us to pray for an escape. He told us to occupy the land until he comes. It's Luke 19:13, okay? Psalm chapter 2, verse 8 says, Ask of me, and I'll give you the nations for your inheritance. Psalm 115, verse 16 says that the heavens belong to the Lord, but he has given the earth to man. Okay, and so it is our job to go forth and make disciples in dominion. Now, Matthew 28:18-19 says, All authority in heaven has been given to me, meaning Christ. And he says, therefore, go. Now, he tells you some instructions, right? Go, make disciples, baptize them, teach them, all these things. But he's telling you to go. He's telling you to go. Okay? So remember that your voice has legislative power in the spirit, and we're called to stop reacting to things, stop just letting things play by on autopilot, and start governing. Okay? Now, you may be asking why this matters, but the truth is, if you're in business, we're not supposed to be competing. We're supposed to be dominating our industries, okay? Now, if you're in ministry, we're not supposed to be waiting for revivals. We're not supposed to be waiting for these things. We ignite them. We've been authorized to stir the Spirit, to anoint and to preach the gospel and all these things, okay? If you're building anything in the kingdom, maybe you're not an entrepreneur, maybe you're not a minister, you're just following Jesus, want to build something. If you're building anything in the kingdom, you have to move with the authority that comes from him and not earthly limitations. It's that simple, okay? The kingdom suffers violence, and the violent will take it by force. That's Matthew 11 and 12. Okay? So let me know in the chat. Drop a comment below. What's one area you need to start walking in more authority? Let's talk about it. Let me pray for you. And if this has stirred you, please hit that like, share, subscribe button, all those things. Share it with some other kingdom leaders who need a reminder of our authority and our power and our purpose. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more kingdom strategies, guys, if that's something that you're, interested in different things of that nature. So let's tap into our authority. Let's remember whose we are, who has called us by name, and who is sending us to the nations. Y'all stay encouraged, stay armored up. I'll see you guys in the next video.